Pay closer attention to this secret desire that you've been unwilling to admit to yourself. You are not broken, and there is nothing wrong with feeling this way.
Let me be your reminder, we will find the beats for this dream.
Hello, and welcome back to Life in the Middle. So today, I would like to talk about the 3 conscious choices that we can make to make a big shift in our life, like today. It's really a matter of making a choice. So many women that I work with wake up one day in this transition from raising children, taking care of aging parents, having a demanding career, and they feel, although hard to admit, maybe sometimes even hard to articulate, they feel this deep ache inside, or this nudge that says, how did I get here? Is this the life I desire? And honestly, so many of them secretly desire a different life. And I don't mean that in the way that you maybe think when you first heard that. It doesn't mean that they want to tear apart the life that they're in and it hasn't been a good marriage or it hasn't been a good career. It's not that. It's that they feel this whisper or this deep ache because they haven't been paying attention to something deep within them for the last decade or two. They've put everyone first. They've paid more attention to the shoulds, the do's, and the don'ts than to their own deep desire for what they want to do, where they want to go, and how they want to live their life. It is super common, and especially in this day and age when we have so many choices. There is so much information out there that can make us feel dizzy, that creates more overwhelm, that creates more chaos in our life and leaves us even more stuck because there's so much coming at us. Here's what does work, ladies, is to go within, to listen to the nudge, to listen to the whisper, to pay closer attention to this secret desire that you've been unwilling to admit to yourself, and you actually pay attention to that. So here's what I really want you to know. You are not broken, and there is nothing wrong with feeling this way. In fact, for this stage in our life, it's at some level completely normal. But what it so often gets called is a crisis, and it is not a crisis. It's awakening. It's a sacred invitation to start to pay attention to what you really do secretly desire. It is really time to put down the shame and to step into this next phase of your life. Have you ever heard yourself say, or maybe you feel this, I should be grateful for my life, but I feel flat? I've lost touch with what really lights me up, and I don't even know what I want. I have spent so much of my life taking care of others, overextending myself, driving the bus of children from one place to the next. And please know I'm not discrediting that. I believe there is absolutely a place for that in our life. It's when we start to feel numb that I think it's a problem, and it's a disservice to our family and mostly to us. So if you can relate to this, stay with me, because before I share the 3 conscious shifts, there's something else I would like to share with you. If what I have shared with you so far is resonating with you, and you can feel this awakening to this nudge, this sensation, this numbness that I'm speaking to, you want more clarity and you really want more connection. You want to connect with people who are feeling the same thing, and not from a position of complaining about it, but from a position of living the life you secretly desire. And if that is true for you, I want you to go to the description below this video, and there is a link in there for you to find a very special gift that I have created for you, the one that really feels like she is ready to do something about this feeling, this nudge, but isn't quite sure. So go ahead and check that out at the bottom of this video. And let's get back to the 3 conscious shifts that we are going to start making today. Okay, so let's talk about number 1. This one is really powerful, and it's called it's called naming the numbness. If we are feeling those emotions of, I don't know what I want anymore, I don't know what my purpose is, I don't even know how to find it. First thing we have to do is name the emotion. Name the emotion that I feel lost. I feel numb. I haven't paid attention to my inner nudges for decades. I want something different, and I'm afraid to step into it. No shame. There's no judgment. But this is absolutely the first step in starting to make change in your life. So here's what I'd like you to do. For the remainder of this video, pause it first and go get a notebook, or maybe you have a journal. And I want you to answer this one question. This is really powerful. Okay, the question is, what have I been ignoring? You may have already recognized that you're ignoring emotion. You're feeling maybe some shame around what you're feeling, or judgment. Judgment can be really big, can be really powerful. It can stop us in our tracks. But I want you to set all of that aside, and I want you to ask yourself what you have been ignoring. And I want you to maybe create a list, or just open your journal or your notebook and just start writing to that question. Don't stop until you have filled an entire page. And the answer is probably in there. The moment you pause and get stuck, pause, like literally take a moment and take a breath. Close your eyes and ask yourself that question again. And the moment you feel something come up and you start writing again, and complete at least an entire page, because I promise you the answer is in there. And once you know what it is and you're willing to admit it to yourself, you become conscious of it. And we become conscious of it if we're willing to put down the judgment and the shame. This is where we make change. Now, my teacher used to tell me, knowing something and not taking action is the same thing as not knowing. The action doesn't need to be big, but it needs to be a step towards the desire, the secret desire that you have not been letting yourself live. So remember, the free gift I have for you below can really help you dive deeper into this. Okay, so let's move on to number 2. This one is a big one. This one can be really challenging. but it's really as powerful as number one, and it's called pausing the performance. We must, if we want to start to change our life and live the way we desire to be, we must start paying attention to when we are trying to be who others need or want us to be. Typically, what happens when we start feeling this or start practicing this is we get scared because we can feel the pushback from others because they are expecting us to show up exactly like we have been for the last decade or so. That's what scares us. And there's a fear that comes up that only you can identify, and only you can start to diminish the story of the fear that is most often not true, and start to tear it apart, start to disassemble it, start practicing something different. So we must become conscious of these moments when we are practicing being someone who we really aren't. And here's how you're going to start doing this. So the first thing I want you to do is get out your journal again, and I want you to journal, who is it that you want to be that you haven't been, and let yourself go really deep. Continuously ask yourself that question until you fill the whole page so that you can identify who you really are. See it on paper. And then the second step is going to be practice. Practice in sort of a benign situation. Someone you feel really safe with, someone you really trust. Practice simply being you, and not from a judgmental place, not from anger, not from trying to control others, because that simply won't work. We all know that, right? We all intellectually know that all we control is simply ourselves. That's it. No reaction, no judgment, no shame. Just simply practice. Little by little, it will start to become really easy. Now, here's the thing. Often when I ask people to journal that, they don't know what to write. But only you know the answer to this. I can and do help people pull that through themselves through various techniques, but it still comes just from you. So give that a try and notice what happens. I would love for you to put a comment below this video and tell me what you felt on those 10 minutes of practice when you simply were being you. Like, with no veil over your face or over the part of yourself that you've been showing the world for so many years. This one can be challenging, but I'm promising you it is worth it. Okay, here's the last one of the 3 conscious choices. Number 3 is choose one small desire. So every day you're going to ask yourself, what do I want right now? Not what is productive, not even what's polite. I want you to ask this question from a deeper source within. The practice of asking ourselves about our secret desires and then honoring them starts to create the life we desire. If your secret desire, so this can be really interesting, because sometimes our secret desire, like I hear from women often in midlife, their secret desire is to leave their relationship or their marriage. That's okay. If you don't feel fulfilled anymore and you can own the part of yourself that has been actually contributing to the unfulfillment, right? There's a part in this that you own. There's a part of this that you have been living a sort of numbness to. There's a part of this life that you have created that you've allowed, and taking responsibility for it is absolutely the first step, right? So that secret desire is nudging you, and you're ready to do something about it. You're scared, you have judgment, you have a lot of shame around actually having what you desire. So you can either go through these three conscious choices and start honoring each one of them little by little, taking small steps. Okay. So in wrapping up this video, that is the first thing I want to share, is taking small steps. Often our nervous system can't handle us taking big, gigantic steps. And typically what we might want or have a tendency to do is to blame the life that we haven't been living on somebody else. So we have to start to own our part in that first. Okay. So once you recognize these emotions and you start working through them through journaling and taking one small step every day that comes from deep within, you will start to notice a difference. So the first thing you'll want to really pay attention to is fear when it comes up. When it does, this is a time where you sort of step back and you take several slow, deep breaths and sort of calm your nervous system down and ask yourself, is this fear real? Is it true? Is the thing I think is going to happen really going to happen? And if it does, then what? Okay, personal story time. So I have had this fear of traveling more by myself. I don't have a fear of being by myself when I travel, but actually just doing it, just saying, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to do it by myself, especially if a family member or my husband doesn't want to come with me. The fear is that I won't be accepted when I come back, or I will be rejected, or there will be reasons why I get what I want and somebody else doesn't, and I will want to own that feeling in somebody else. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It kept me in a place on the merry-go-round of life, of living in this numbness of this merry-go-round, that I wasn't very happy. So I have done a ton of personal development to work my way through that. These are some deep-rooted feelings for a lot of women. They typically have more to do with our feeling of worthlessness that creates all this fear. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this video up. Please check the link out below for more. And I would love to hear your response to these three conscious choices in the comments below. And if there's something you would like me to talk more about and go deeper into regarding these three choices or something else, please leave a comment below. And we will see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Let me be your reminder.